Hey, DanO here from the DanO Sonic Ensemble, and I've got something sort of cool to show you, something interesting anyway. So, my drum set, right? I started playing drums maybe in '07, '08, and I prided myself on being Albuquerque's worst drummer for at least a good 10 years. I was bad. And by bad, I mean I could keep a beat, right? Boom, chick, kind of thing. And it was going great. I mean, I was doing what I needed to do, having fun, trying to level up and learn something about drums, which always seemed really intimidating to me. But guess what? The more you do it, the better you get. That's kind of funny how that works. So, I purchased this Yamaha DTXplorer around '08 or '09. I think they were fairly new back then. It was about 800 bucks. And they're kind of a low-end drum set with some reasonable high-end features. They have rubber pads, no drum mesh or the heads that you've seen on maybe the Rolands or the newer kits. And it came with a small set of, 3 toms, a snare, a hi-hat, and then 2 pedals, the kick, and then the hat controller. And then the MIDI brain, which is right here. And it came in a reasonably sturdy sort of structure, the skeletal structure, and I played this drum set for years and it was great. I was learning up, and then I started to have some issues with the MIDI brain over here. I mean, it works great, but I had to replace the battery a few times, which meant taking it apart to get to the tiny little disc battery way in the center of it. And I thought I'd better get another MIDI brain as a backup just in case, because I like the drum set, and there's something to be said about the learning curve. Knowing your equipment, I know how to program all of the sounds, all of the heads to get the sounds I want. So I thought, instead of getting a new kit, why don't I just get a backup MIDI brain? So turns out they don't make this drum set anymore, of course. But I found one used on one of the online sources. It was from a shop in maybe Corpus Christi, Texas or something. And it turned out it was cheaper to get a new MIDI brain, or a used MIDI brain, but a whole new set as well. So I got a second set for about $300, the exact same thing. So I Frankensteined it together to come up with this whole set. And what I have now is the second MIDI drum set over here, and then 4 cymbals, an extra cymbal here, and I'll go into what they all are in just a second. And now I have 4 pedals. I have a double kick drum. All right, so let me just give you the quick rundown from the pilot seat here of what we got going on the drum set. Hi-hat. Open and close with the pedal down there. Snare sound, very solid. And so up here on the MIDI brain, you can see the control. And again, I can control the knob with the drumstick. But right there, it's a snare, the 3rd patch in there, and it's a maple style snare. And then tom 1. That low tom sounds pretty phenomenal. Okay, now I mentioned I have this bonus china over here. And there's the splash. That's the ride. Crash sound right there. Another ride sound. Now over here, I know there's probably a lot of cowbell haters out there, but I freaking love cowbell. Right? That sounds fantastic. Yeah! And then I got a bell right over here. So altogether, I have enough drums to keep me going and learning for hopefully the next 10, 20 years, as long as this kit keeps moving along. And I guess if one of my MIDI heads or MIDI brains goes out, I'll be able to at least have one going so my downtime will be minimized. The other thing I want to show you is the amplifier that I'm using for this whole kit. Let's check that out. Alright, here is the amplifier that I'm using for the eDrum set. And as you know, there's a lot of pros and cons with eDrum sets, but one of the pros is that you can adjust the volume to be equal with the band and not just have everyone try to race to loudness to keep up with the drums. So let me show you this Simmons DA200SB. They don't make it anymore, of course. They have a newer model, and I didn't like it as much. Let me show you why I like this older model that I got used. Okay, so here you see the two ins, mono left and right in, and I have one line coming in from each of the brains, the MIDI brains. I also have another input jack if I need to throw in another source, like a mixer or something. Here's the main drum volume, and guess what? These knobs you can control with a drumstick. Look at that. This is the input for that in right there. That's the master volume for that. This is the master and drum volume. And then you have the 3-level equalization, low, mid, and high. Then the whole subwoofer volume, so I can control the deep lows right there, and I have my master volume there. This has a bonus Bluetooth on, so I can Bluetooth in with a phone and just rock the party if I need to. So you just turn the Bluetooth on right there, and you have an AUX in and a headphone if you need to. Let me show you the back. So the back, we have a main volume out for the lines out. So here's a XLR line out and line out left and right, so you can run to the house if you need to, or to some additional speakers. And then you also have these extension speaker jacks, a left and a right, and you have a main volume for all of this to control with that little knob right there. So simple, but guess what? The newer model doesn't have any of this stuff. And there you go. That's the current drum rig right now. Now the only thing to do is practice and try to get better, especially with the double kick pedal. I'm not quite sure what's going on there yet. Haven't grokked it, but we'll see. Bueno, thanks for checking it out. Bye.